The defenders held the city, but another assault comes from the north. Will they withstand this next blow? Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome back to another Medieval 1212 online battle. Today we have an epic 16,000 man engagement, and this is kind of like a part 2 more than anything else. In the previous battle, which I'll make sure to link down below in the description, the forces of the Holy Roman Empire, Poland, and I believe one of the other electors went ahead and protected, maybe it was the Teutonic Order, went ahead and held the city against a Lithuanian, Norwegian, and Swedish threat, and this time they are now coming for another assault. They've managed to somewhat prepare the city, however the city is ruined from the last siege. Still, they couldn't batch up all the holes in the walls and in the city, so it's going to be kind of a drastic defense that they'll just try their best to hold, and hopefully it will make for an exciting battle. As you can already see, the city now has a lot more breaches. There's a lot more damage to the village, which will obviously hurt the defenders quite heavily. As you can see, there is now 40% settlement damage, and more artillery is flying in constantly as the battle goes on in the background. So because of that, we're going to be having less morale, melee attack, and melee defense, and it does start to add up. You know, -7 is nothing to kind of look away from whatsoever. So as we can see, we'll quickly, as the forces kind of just, mass up and stuff, we'll quickly take a look at what a few other people are bringing in as they move in. So over on this side, we have the Lithuanian crossbows, very, very effective units at breaking armor, pushing up the siege towers. We have some dismounted knights with I believe these guys have axes and warhammers, or mainly just axes, but some do have warhammers, so great units to basically break the defenders. Over in the center side, we do have the Norwegians, again crossbowmen supported by heavy axemen, and I think in the last battle these guys were extremely effective. They even have some pikemen as well, which if they can get involved in the battle, they'll do plenty of damage. And then finally, I believe we have the Danish, actually, so I guess the Teutonic Order may be lost, and the Teutonic Order was defending, so maybe it was Norway, Denmark, and Lithuania. That makes more sense. But the Denmark Koskels over here, again, just securing the city as the forces, the defenders, just prepared to hold. Then the defenders, we have the HRE. Again, they're going to be situated with some spearmen. And I think, oh my god, the artillery coming in, just burning these guys down. Wow, the infantry charge flies in itself, hitting the defenders. And as you'll see, I think a lot of the defenders have a lot more of the lower tier infantry this time. Again, we'll have some more sergeants here. You have a lot more early tier infantry rather than higher tier infantry, which should make for a fun and exciting battle, because we're not just seeing, super heavy knights coming in. There are still a bunch of Pavese crossbowmen though who are extremely heavy, and then we also have the Teutonic Order. So yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so cool. And then finally, we have this nice little cavalry reinforcement fight that will come in a little bit later into the battle, and these guys will aid the defenders. So yeah, let's just get this battle underway. I just wanted to quickly run through that because this is kind of a long replay, but don't worry, I will cut out all the boring bits in it. So even though it is an hour long, I will make sure to fill this battle with, action and excitement. And if you guys are enjoying these battles, then be sure to go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really, really appreciate it. It does help out the channel more than you guys know. And even hit that bell notification. I'm not sure how much that helps. YouTube is a bit of a mess at the moment. But, anything you guys can do to help support the channel, I do gravely appreciate. And obviously, I upload every single day. So if you're not seeing my videos, chances are I have uploaded that day. So just jump over to the channel. Normally around 4 PM GMT is a great time to come check out the channel. Also, let me know in the comments, do you guys think the defenders will hold? Balance of power-wise, it's in favor of the attackers, obviously. And the defenders do have lower quality units, I believe. But last time they managed to hold the city, there's some very good players on the defending side. But I'm hoping to counteract that. The attackers have kind of been giving maybe a bit more money. Obviously, more money at their disposal. And here we go, already using the derelict city to their advantage. We actually have the Lithuanians charging in and opening up this bridge point as the artillery is just ransacking this. And here we go. This is a really nice move here by the attackers, throwing in their Lithuania axemen and actually hitting away against these crossbowmen, killing some of the Teutons who are just left here out in the open. They're going to be getting hit, but this is going to completely open up this entire area of the battlefield. They're also throwing in their cavalry as well. Some of the Teutonic cavalry of the defenders are charging in, looking to kill this weaker infantry and soften up the assault. However, the fact that the Axemen are now in, they should be able to surround these infantrymen who are just sitting around. Oh my god, the artillery hit as well on these Teutonic spearmen. That was brutal. And we're even getting the crossbows up here as well, duking it away against the Pavis. Over on the other sides of the battle, we have more artillery flying in. One direct hit. Actually, no direct hits. That was a good kind of defense. We have, obviously, the Denmark forces charging in through the front gate against the Polish. And they're going to be engaging, facing up against their opponents. But obviously, spearmen are great at holding, so it's going to be a while till they break through. And we obviously have crossbowmen covering that. What you really need to do in these aggressive battles is get your crossbowmen in the city, and basically, or crossbowmen or archers, and basically just shoot the opponent's missiles. Because if they don't have missiles, it makes your infantry have a much easier job at breaking through the defenders. And the Denmark men are charging forward with every single bit of infantry they can, trying to break their way into the city. And you'll probably start to see, the morale, the melee attack, and the melee defense really starting to rack up. Just reducing, again, because we're playing with lower tier infantry, a lot of these sergeants don't have a huge amount, of melee attack and melee damage and defense to begin with. Because these are lower tiers, so, these modifiers are amplified, making it even harder for the city defenders to even really hold. We are going to be getting a Polish contingent though pushing into the city and, just basically trying to hold these streets that maybe the HRE cannot hold. More crossbowmen being brought up as well. And it looks like the defenders over on this side are getting smashed pretty heavily. Like, they're losing a lot of this initial battle. And that's pretty scary because, they're going to run out of men. You can already see advanced power shifting quite heavily. I swear it shifted a bit more left than it was originally, in favor of the attackers. So it looks like the attackers have done a great assault. However, as you guys can see, as more men retreat back, this battle was a 76-minute long battle after what we've already had. Obviously, I'll cut bits out so it's not as tedious, but this is going to be a long battle. So don't, count your chickens before they've hatched, because there's still a lot more to go on. The city defense, I imagine, will go all the way back to this last stand right here. This is more of just like an outwards defense. We're getting some artillery crew moving in now as well. And you may think the artillery crew sucks, but they are equipped with these huge axes, so maybe they will be able to break through this. Or maybe they're not. Maybe this is like another unit. I think this is actually another unit. Yeah, this is the axe. Okay, these are the Ducal heavy axemen, which are, again, designed to break through these defensive positions right now. Oh, did not mean to do that. There we go. Teutons, though, that heavy shield wall. Not really an easy faction just to break through, so we'll see them, putting up a good fight. But as always, heavy axemen are designed to, rip away shields, break up spear walls. They're really, really effective if you bring them into a flank of the enemy. But the fact that, even like using them on the front lines is still just as effective, because they have a great armor piercing value, so they can kind of break away the shield and then, get at the armor very, very effectively. So we can basically just see a flooding of the Norwegian troops into the city, basically trying to get their spears, their artillery, their crossbows into position. Also, this is very interesting. I don't know why the attackers aren't using these siege towers to hit this, because it looks like the defenders are putting up a fight right here with their pikemen. With their, their halberdiers and their other infantry. So if they were just simply move men up through these siege towers, they could easily come around the back and just lift up this entire siege. Now, granted, siege towers are awfully optimized when it comes to pathfinding, so maybe that is the issue. The fact that they just can't, just men won't go up here. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But if they could just get a couple men up here, that'd be great. Maybe even making a siege, like a hole in the wall, would be great there. We do already have some pre-existing holes, but nothing like too helpful to the attackers. There's still, men covering every single street. It'd be amazing if you could get through this street as well. That's one of the things I'd really love to see, and one of the things I love to see in custom map battles is when they allow you to pass through each of these streets and stuff. It just adds so much more depth to the battle. So instead of you use kind of obvious choke points, you get men running through the gardens of houses and streets, and they're kind of outflanking and defending, and it actually makes it feel like a proper, desperate defense by the defenders. Because without that, They're basically just holding, you know, these select points, whereas obviously that's not how a siege would be. A siege would be every single street, back garden, house would be, you know, a fight. And that's why I love about a lot of the custom maps that allow you to maneuver through houses. Because, again, it makes them feel a lot less like a district or just a block of houses, which is just impassable. Then it creates it and kind of adds it to a siege battle. And I really, really, really hope the Three Kingdoms brings back good sieges, because the Warhammer sparsity of sieges have not been great. Obviously, custom maps are awesome in Warhammer, but the default Warhammer maps are just, you know, a disgrace, a disappointment, disgrace. They're just awful. Really are the worst part of the game. So hopefully we'll get Three Kingdoms and, you know, we'll have good sieges back, cool custom maps. And plenty more. So it looks like over on this right-hand side, the forces of Denmark are actually losing a couple men on their attackers. A couple units are actually routing, which is not great. They really need to be getting their crossbows in the city. Now, I think they're using their crossbows already to hit these guys, but again, I imagine the attackers are using their PVs to basically just, you know, shoot away at what they can see there, which isn't much, but it doesn't really cause them a lot of ammunition to just shoot here. And as you can see, another couple of units are all routing, and they're making headway, but, you know, at what cost? Because in these siege battles, it's all about minimizing casualties. And we're going to be getting a unit of cavalry charging through, breaking through the lines of these defenders. And if the Lithuanians can, they can push on and start hitting all of these crossbowmen. Killing the enemy crossbowmen is like the key to victory in this. And we're going to get a great charge off on them. Wow, if I was them, I would just pile through everything I have right now. Select all and just click. Because if you can cut off these retreats and kill these crossbowmen, which they're doing a great job of, wow. Look at this. They are killing so many crossbows right now. This is huge for the attackers. The fact that they've managed to reduce these guys heavily is just going to aid them so much, because they have so much ammunition left. And then they also have some more cavalry coming in, trying to take on these guys as well. That is a really nice maneuver. And that's something you can't do in Medieval 1212. You can't leave a really thin line of infantry, because cavalry will just punch through that. You need more, you know, depth in your line, or halberds, or spikes, or something to prevent them from just breaking through your line. But normal infantry, even spear infantry, will struggle if they're stretched, you know, 2 lines deep. They'll struggle to withstand that cavalry charge, which will just break through the line and then go on to the valuable units back there. Because, I mean, just look at this right now. These crossbows have basically lost over half their units, and that's half the ammunition gone. That's half the kills they could have got removed. Which just makes for such a brutal defense. Especially when you have all of these crossbows coming in. More cavalry being aided and all of the... Yeah, look at all these missiles. Oh my god. I mean, again, maybe the attackers... Yeah, this is exactly what I was about to say. Maybe the attackers could strike this. No, go for the crossbows. Go for the missiles. The pikes are good to kill, but you can use your missiles. Oh no, I wish the Polish would have gone for all of them. Oh, look how many there are. There are so many crossbows. And now finally they go in. This is great. A nice little maneuver here. And yeah, both sides are leaving their missiles extremely vulnerable. We do have some of the Polish knights coming in as well to try and kill these guys after dealing with the other crossbowmen. Oh, that's a... I mean, I guess I eat my words right there. The Polish cavalry coming in, routing all of his infantry, and then dealing with these crossbows. Where's all the infantry over here as well? It's just missiles galore. Oh my god, if this Polish cavalry can break through... They've routed 2 units of crossbows and an archer unit. This is just a massacre right now. I can't believe that it's going on like this. But they're able to do this. Where are the swordsmen? Where are the defenders?
This is a shameful display.
Shameful display indeed. Look at that. The cavalry's going to break, but I mean, how many kills did they get? We can see 380 kills on that unit. The other attacking Polish Lithuanian cavalry managed to break through, and they also got 300 kills, so it's kind of an even exchange, but I feel like the attackers need their missiles more than the defenders do. because they need to break up these defensive positions. We do finally, though, have the Denmark forces breaking through this section, and they're going to be able to help outflank the defenders right now. And as you can see, the defenders are starting to fall back to the inner city. Both sides moving in. We're going to be getting some cavalry and misses. As I said, this is just going to be bad for the defenders right now. They're just not going to be, they're not formed up. They're not, you know, they're weakened. There's not many of them. They're going to be easy pickings for these heavy knights. And I love that about 12-12. I mention it every video, but I really do. I like the emphasis that knights just don't just fall into this kind of basic folder of rock, paper, scissors like normal Total War, you know. They're true to the period. They are really strong. And I always love that. So we're going to be getting the Danish knights throwing themselves into combat against the Pavese crossbows. So many missiles are being slaughtered right now. So the artillery rockets in. Wow, that's awesome. Fire for effect. I mean, just look at that. Now they're going to be coming in and lifting up the siege. And this is such a pivotal moment. Pivotal moment. Yeah, I can speak. That's awesome. Pivotal moment for the attackers when they finally break through a certain part of the city. Is when you finally break through the enemy line, you have to maneuver your units around and relieve the other portions of your siege which are struggling to break through. So if you can end up, you know, getting flanks in like this cavalry is doing, killing missiles which maybe haven't fallen back soon enough, you basically make your siege a lot easier and go ahead and kill a lot more soldiers that could have easily have retreated to safety. What are these Ritter up to? They could have killed... I guess they don't need to. You got infantry coming. Okay, I was going to say, what are these guys up to? But it makes complete sense now. They'd rather let, you know, these castle guard, who did just take a point bomb. This is not a good maneuver if they keep on getting shot like this. They just need to get themselves into combat. They're going to take another volley. Oh, they are as well. That's brutal for these halberds. Cavalry's finally coming back now after routing all of this. So yeah, the attackers are doing a great job at suffering up this. However, we do have the HRE cavalry now maneuvering in. And they're basically activated and coming in to lift portions of the siege. A nice little contingent of knights have come back. Where was the HRE? Well, here they are. Heavy knights, even though the burning oil is throwing down on them. They're managing to kill a lot of these defenders. And adding in, what, 6 or 7 units of the heavy knights is going to be huge for the defenders right now. Even though they've basically lost the entirety of the outer wall, they still have this inner wall with a lot of good units. However, the allied men, which are the defenders, are currently outnumbered close to 600, 700 men. I'm just hoping the attackers have enough ammunition. And also, yeah, they have plenty of crossbows, so they should be okay. And this is something I love to see. Whenever there's a reinforcement army, is the attackers using their walls as a defense to push back against the enemy cavalry and stuff. You can see crossbows here are mounted up against and are shooting the defender cavalry, which is outside of the city. Taking out a few of these horses really should be brought back. We're going to be getting more cavalry as well thrown in, looking just to soften up these defensive shield walls. Now, this shield wall should be a lot more effective. Yeah, look how much stronger that shield wall was with the knights. Because it was like 5 rows deep, they could withstand that cavalry charge so much better than a more stretched out line. And I really, really do dig that about the game. I'd almost like it as it like that if you couldn't drag your units out that long. Yeah, I never really like these battles with these huge battle lines with just units spread out 2-3 ranks deep. I much prefer the more dense engagements. I don't know if you guys are the same as me. You know, I don't want this battle that stretches a mile, but it's only 2 men deep. You know, I want these, you know, condensed packs of infantry just hitting away, much like a proper battle was. So I think the Danish have made the most ground right now, using their crossbows to, you know, pick away at these Pavese Polish crossbowmen. Great here. However, there is a nice little artillery position up here. Going to be unloading their explosive rounds into the city. I guess trying to hit away at these defenders. We've got some Hoskels up here. Some spearmen marching into the city, even though it's burning. But I think the attack of the defenders are burning their own city here as well. Has it gone up at all? It's gone up by 1. Settlement damage is up to 45%. I'm even get on board with these guys as they march forward. I think the artillery is maybe trying to focus down the crossbowmen, which again, as I said, is such a pivotal part of pivotal part of these battles. Oh, really big hit there, killing how many of these guys. We can see how many kills it got when the burning goes down. Oh, maybe it actually only killed 7. Okay, it didn't even kill that many. Wow, I would have assumed that would have been a direct hit, which would have been super nice. We've somehow managed to get more cavalry round here. How the hell did these Polish-Lithuanian cavalry break in? We're going to get a great rear charge off from the... Oh my god, that was brutal. Yeah, that was an amazing rear charge off on the Teutonic Order spearmen. And now they're just going to get smashed by the maces and warhammers of this heavy Lithuanian cavalry. But also, the Lithuanian cavalry looks great. Look at that. I love the Gothic armor. That's like a proper set of Gothic armor, right? And they're just going to completely break free. So I don't know how this battle goes on for another hour. Because it looks like the attackers have just, you know, made quick work of that initial siege. You know, the defenders are running out of men. And now I guess maybe there's a lot of quality still left remaining. We got pikes. So we got some levy pikemen from Poland on this next line. We've got some halberds who are going to be getting shot. Yeah, I just don't know. I find it quite hard to believe that this battle goes on for as long as it does. Maybe there's like a ceasefire during the battle. But obviously it's a hard fight to the city centre, and the HRE does not give up any quarter. At least when you see a battle going on for this long, you know it will be a close one. Because both sides are going to drain their men to the bitter last. No side is going to really just stomp the enemy at this point. I always love this unit as well. The HRE heavy swordsmen. You know, they're great swords. The warhammers. It's a really great unit at just dispatching anything they come up against. Besides, like, knights. Knights slaughter these guys. They're more infantry killers than they are, you know, good. I mean, they're not bad against horses, but they really just can't stand up to them. Yeah, because they're inherently a really strong unit with that armor and stuff, they kind of take away a few of them negatives, but overall they will just get beaten back. So as you can basically see, the entirety of the map has, you know, this inner courtyard right here has been completely taken care of. Now it's going to be a moment of the attackers pushing forward their soldiers and assaulting this next line, which is a little bit thin. Now, granted, what I would maybe do is maybe bring out some men and attack this side, because if you can breach this part, you can actually get into the rear of these defenders. And looking at it, it's not like the defenders have that much infantry left remaining. I mean, neither side really does have that much remaining. So now that the HRE's cavalry has made it inside the city from outside the map, we do have a huge charge now trying to break away the defenders' battle line, which is not a bad idea. Using this heavy cavalry almost as infantry to hold the front line is actually pretty smart, especially if they can charge down and kill some of his infantry. I mean, as you can see, they've managed to rout a few of these guys. The halberds are going to come in and basically do a ton of damage as another HRE charge flies into the halberds, which is not going to be effective. And as they try and retreat from this, they're going to lose horses left, right, and centre. But they managed to rout another 2 units of infantry, so maybe in the overall scheme of things, that was completely worth it just for some horses. However, you are running out of cavalry, and now we do actually have some more horses being brought up by the attackers to basically silence the HRE threat, which is, again, not a bad idea. Because once the HRE loses their cavalry, it's going to reduce their maneuverability around this siege. It's going to reduce any chances. Because obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of, you know, crossbows back here. So there's some javelins back here, which can be brought up to assault the inner workings of the city. We also have a massive contingent right here of crossbows. And oh, the infantry is broken from Denmark. If there's any horses available, this could be a great place to use. If there's some horses left still to come maybe hit these crossbows, take them out of the field of battle. Yeah, these guys just really need to pour into the city right now. I guess they're so scared of this HRE cavalry, but I mean, maybe just send some of your own cavalry to go and kill them, and so you've got your back secure. I mean, after this unit goes down, I don't think there's really much left of the HRE in terms of horsemen. We are seeing one of the horses being brought out of the fight. I assume to be, you know, repositioned elsewhere. No, still in there, just maybe moving forward. But the Imperial Ritter are cutting down these other horsemen from the northern Scandinavian states. And again, another cavalry charge once again. The HRE cavalry just showing the might of German horsemen. They also see that these guys are struggling. I mean, if I was the attackers, I would just shoot this unit to pieces. If it wants to stand out here in the open, I would just focus it down. I guess it's really important to kill the crossbows as well, so it's probably the counterplay. Don't really know why these artillery pieces are being brought up either. Look at that. They're being thrown into the fight. We've got no ammunition left, so maybe they're just being... I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, right, to use artillery pieces once they've got, when you've got nothing to shoot. I mean, there's always something to shoot, right? You'd always just rip off a plank of wood and fling that at the enemy. But in the game, you could just use it as a barricade or something, which I guess not necessarily a bad idea. Cover some of your missiles as well. Missiles will hit these. Artillery coming in, though, and actually destroying one of the catapults. I still can't believe this cavalry fight is still going on. I imagine we're just waiting now for the missiles and infantry to start moving in once again. But yeah, I'm really surprised that this side is finally broken through now. Finally, I mean, it's taken so long. And how great would it be if there's a unit, if this cavalry just piled through right now? Look how many missiles are just so vulnerable. And you've really got to take these opportunities when you're attacking. Balance power is still in favor of the attackers. 800 man difference right now. There's just so many easy kills in missiles. If they could just... Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Great. I love to see it. When I mentioned, oh, why don't they do this? I love to then see it. And you can see more cavalry, Polish cavalry being brought over. So a really good maneuver right here by the cavalry. And then finally, this horseman is going to get taken down as well. No cavalry... Oh, okay. No, don't worry. I mean, even still, these guys are only axemen. Like, a cavalry charge would do a lot of damage to these guys. And these are the type of units you want to be hitting with your horses. But maybe the crossbows are going to try and pick them away. If they had like a unit of cavalry maybe just waiting around the corner here, they could have then pushed in there. Could have been effective. Unfortunately, not the case. I guess they're waiting for cannons to be brought up. Yeah, there's a set of cannons right here, culverines. So that assault is just being patient right now. Cavalry finally being taken down on that left-hand side. Over on the right-hand side, we're getting some cavalry charging into these spearmen. I mean... These are heavy spearmen, they're not lightly armored or anything, so... We should see the spears able to take care of these. But they're biding time for the Teutonic Order to bring up more spearmen. You can see them in the distance. Making their way to the front line. And basically plugging this gap. I think that was mainly their job there. So this is going to, shore up the defense once more. Keep it a little bit safe. Because the attackers are pushing on every single possible breach besides the rear one. Which is, again, what you want to do, because eventually the defenders will start to unravel. They won't have enough men to hold every single position. So even if you're not fully assaulting every single side, it's great to at least show that you are, committing something. So the defenders, who are normally outnumbered or outclassed, they have to then commit, troops they'd want to put somewhere else, to at least stop you from coming in and, outflanking. So yeah, crossbows maneuvering up. There's even some archers being thrown up here by the Polish defenders. I don't even know what they're up to. They're going to be getting charged by the Spearmen of Norway. The Candlemen, I think they're called. Yeah, the Candlemen. You're also going to be getting a cavalry charge there by the Teutonic Order, I think. But they're going to be getting out of there fairly quickly. As the spearmen come in and some cavalry from Norway as well. Yeah, the cannons are up now, but the cannons are being shot. This is one of the problems is they're very vulnerable to crossbow fire. And I think that's exactly what's happening. All the crossbows are going to be trained in on these culverines, trying to bring them down. You just need to get these crossbows to start to bear. Like, these 3 crossbows back here, these ones as well. Just need to be brought into the fight. I mean, granted, they are taking out some of the Imperial Ritter, which is good. But, yeah, just advance your missiles, break through. You've already got these javelins, which I imagine are here to take care of the pikemen, which will go down very quickly. Do some javelin fire. And then just, slowly break away. You don't necessarily have to kill the crossbows at this point. Just take out the infantry. There's a unit of halberdiers here, which would be just a perfect target for anything. Yeah, unfortunately the Culverines, I think, yeah, died. Didn't really get any use of them whatsoever, which was unfortunate. You know, just do what was happening right here. Block them with the Candlemen, bring up the Skirmishers, and hit away at the Pikemen. There's really, like, nothing left. Even just sending some infantry. I know it's long, but sending some infantry, like, round here. I guess they can't do it because of the cavalry outside of the city, but if they can just make, you know, another breach, how huge would that be? We get a cavalry charge, trying to smash through the Candlemen. They did a good job. These guys weren't formed up. They were still maneuvering. And you're just going to get them pulling through right now onto the crossbowmen. They take a couple of volleys, but they are going to break through. If that Candlemen, they needed to be, like, steady. We're going to be getting a counter charge here by the Norwegian horsemen. And even if they lose their crossbows, as long as they keep these skirmishers alive, that's really all that matters. We're going to be getting a big push by the infantry as well. Not a bad idea, trying to, you know, follow up on the support of the heavy knights who have committed to that fight. Just try and push the attackers back kind of a couple more meters so they can't bring these missiles to bear. I mean, as well as that, they're actually doing a great job. I mean, we do have some Norwegian Ridder here, but they'll probably lose against these guys, especially with the support of infantry. And there's just so much, like, so many crossbows still left remaining. Somehow we're getting a nice little charge up here. The heavy axemen of Poland are charging forward onto the pike infantry, or I guess halberd. What even are these guys? The castle guard, which are, like, I guess longer halberds. Probably not a great engagement for them, especially as there's more cavalry coming in from Poland and Lithuania on either side of the spectrum. And that cavalry is going to be routing. So again, the numbers just dropping for both sides right there. 2,600 men for the defenders, and that number is going down quickly. And 3,300 for the attackers. No, though, the skirmishers are being thrown into this engagement. That's, you need to save every single horseman there. You really, really do. And even the center point is looking a bit shaky. Look like we had some artillery going in. It's just a lot of missiles left to the attackers. So we have a unit of skirmishers up here which actually just literally broke. But they brought up the skirmishers to try and break away a few of these halberdiers. They killed half of them, which was pretty nice. And now they're going to advance forward some dismounted Lithuanian knights to try and break up the damaged halberdiers that still remain here. And again, it's a very, very thin line, only a couple ranks deep, so if they can break this up, that would not be a bad idea. But again, you know, halberds, when they are in formation like so, are very hard to kill. And there you go, the charge forward. That's one of the strengths of the halberds. From the front, you know, they're just as strong as pikes. And also, because this is on a nice little crevice, like it's like a hill going upwards, these Polish knights are extremely vulnerable to crossbow fire coming in from the defenders. I should say Lithuanian knights are extremely vulnerable from any crossbow fire heading their way. So you're really going to see a lot of volleys, you know, making their way in. And as well as that, we also have a tower shooting. I didn't even realize there was any towers still left remaining on this battle. But both sides are definitely dwindling, and this is like a fight for survival. Wait, that's friendly cavalry, right? Yeah, it's friendly cavalry. For a second, I was like, oh my god, what are they doing? They're just clearing away over here. And oh no, they're rid of... Yeah, they just managed to turn around, I think. But actually, no, charge, kill the pikes. They're reforming. Oh, it would have been a great opportunity to kill these pikes. But you don't want to give away your general. And if we take stock of like what's going on in this battle, there's really not a lot left. There's some infantry, there's crossbows scattered around the battlefield. And you got some infantry back here. I think everything, this is like the last ditch assault right now to break through. But it's not like the defenders even have many men left. And they're actually doing a great maneuver right here, breaking forward and killing these crossbows. This is really, really good right now. If they can break through, if they can get cavalry through, oh my god, that would just be huge. And yeah, I think this is the push right now, as the defenders are having to use their own archers. As the halberds break, the attackers are just throwing everything forward. This guy's got a fucking Mangekyo Sharingan right there. Look at that. Whew. Wouldn't want to mess with him. Yeah, look at that. These swordsmen are rushing forward. The spears are trying to obviously intercept them, and that's going to leave themselves really vulnerable. Yeah, and they decided they didn't want to take that engagement. They're just going to constantly retreat back. And here we go. The entire defense has crumbled on the second layer. They even having to commit some of these, weaker crossbowmen just to hold the line. The guys who are basically out of ammunition just to get other dudes back in position. I'm surprised that these crossbows are still here, but look at that. And every archer who has run out of ammunition is now just being thrown in. I'm so surprised that these crossbows are sitting in reserve. Like, just bring them forward and start getting them shooting whilst all of this is going on. It's not like one or the other. You can do everything all at once. Here we go. More crossbows being killed as they flee. I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see a last defense up here. Just everything up in the city center as the attackers break their way forward. I mean, the attackers also still have the advantage as well. Still close to a similar difference in men still. But I think it's slowly going down to that 1,000 mark in favor of the attackers. Securing these towers is going to be a must as well. And we even get some swordsmen fighting these pikes. Or some hammers. But, I mean, the pikes are going to be able to probably repel them from the front. Yeah, there you go. Repelled easily. Cavalry being brought in. And, I mean, maybe that's what these crossbows are being saved for. But, yeah, there's a lot of missiles. Also, in the bits I cut out as well, we actually saw the HRE cavalry being repelled as well, the ones which were outside of the city. They tried to come in and just got caught by the attacking cavalry. Oh, there is actually a unit of infantry here, but it's going to get rear charged. And this is really important. It might not look like a lot, but every single unit they kill at this point in the game, when there's not really a lot on either side, is huge. So you really have to just keep your army together as much as possible to stop these Polish knights from coming in and supporting their dismounted Ritter Bruder brothers. That's just another unit of swords that could have been used elsewhere. But I assume now, yeah, we're getting the last couple outlets of defense here being taken down. Yeah, the Prussian archers are being slaughtered now for the Teutonic Order. And it's good to see as well that the Danish saved some of their pikemen for this last phase of the siege. Because they're going to need them for sure. There's halberds and stuff. If they can take care of these last couple groups of missiles, then I think they'll do a great job. The attackers have basically brought up everything they need now to dismantle this defense, and I think we might finally start to see it crumbling, as there is only a handful of infantrymen still left remaining on this battlefield. But maybe the defenders have kept enough missiles left remaining to break this down and, defend their defense for as long as possible. Because there are still some pretty good men still back here. They even have their knights at the top, 3 general cavalry just hoarding themselves at the top. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some dismounting or something. But again, there's not actually that. I assume there was more missiles than this. If they just bring up these crossbows, there's what, 4 crossbows here? Shoot these crossbows to pieces. And then they don't really have anything. The infantry will eventually start being taken down, and then you bring up the pikes to clear this defense. I think it's going to be a hard fight up here, but if you use your crossbows effectively, like they have 4 crossbows back here not doing anything. In a position like this where there's so many men clumped up, you need them up here like ASAP. Because all these pikes are going to do is get shot, be a target on their back. So you want to use that opportunity to be shooting your own missiles back at the guys shooting your pikes. But again, maybe they're just saving themselves, keeping them out of range. It's not a bad strategy. When I say stuff like this, like I would do this, that's just my strategy. There are obviously multiple strategies to win. And the pikemen, as I said, are going to be such an effective unit. You can already see these Pavese spearmen down to 97. It's really not too many. And that's what all the focus should be on right now, is taking them down. And again, we do have some crossbowmen over here, the Lithuanians and the men of Denmark. They're again going to be juking it off with the enemies. Both sides, I think, have Pavese, so it's going to be a slow engagement. But it's just good to use up the ammunition this way. There's some archers over here as well. Some archers unloading their quivers. Using that range to their advantage. And actually picking away a few of these guys here and there. So this is what the battle comes down to. There has been a huge grind breaking through the infantry of the defenders, but they have finally started to make some headroom, even though the pikemen are cutting off this cavalry push right now. The cavalry are going to break through onto the crossbows, but are going to be broken themselves. And I don't know, guys. I feel like the attackers just don't have enough to clear this up. They do if they bring up these 4 units of crossbows who are sitting back. You could have been shooting away all of these missiles. I mean, as well as that, like, these, if they could just kill this 1 unit of missiles of ammunition left, they might have enough to break through. I just feel like the defenders have the advantage still. And if they can, you know, master out this infantry, they still, have 3 units of heavy cavalry to break their way down. But basically, you guys haven't missed much. It's just been like a big, you know, cluster of infantry and cavalry just going back and forth. You know, when we sieges do devolve to something like this, it's very hard to do anything exciting. It's just simply fighting to the death. And whatever side buckles first is normally going to be the loser. Finally, these crossbows are being brought up. I really feel like they should have been brought up a little bit sooner. Would have made their life a bit easier. But as I say, if they can just kill like this 1 unit of crossbows, or maybe 2 units of crossbows with ammunition left, they can then use their remaining ammunition to take these guys down. I mean, it's just kind of a plain sailing. I mean, there's 1 unit of dismounted axemen back here as well. But if there was just more emphasis on killing these missiles, I think the defenders would have this. Obviously, they want to try and break through this, but they're still... I mean, maybe not. Maybe killing these pikemen would be better. I guess no side really can tell. Because if you kill the pikemen, then there's nothing to protect the crossbows, right? So maybe just focusing everything down on the crossbows was a good idea. But doing that earlier would have really been beneficial as well, as both sides commit their pikemen to this final stand. And even crossbowmen who have run out of ammunition are being brought into the fray as well. Any man, woman or child who can wield a sword is being brought to bear. What the hell are these crossbow? No, come on. Are they trying to break their way through the gap? You don't need to. Just shoot these pikemen and you can win. Or just shoot something. You have so much ammunition left. The problem is I'm nervous for now. Is because there's a lot of people routing here. If these guys mass rout, then there's just going to be a ton of cavalry flying into this position, right? These crossbows just need to shoot. We look at the morale as well. Morale is -9, so it's going to be, you know, heavily affecting. I think we're going to be seeing it right here as well, yeah. We're going to be seeing a unit of general cavalry coming down. He might be just coming here to buff. Yeah, he's just here to buff. Both sides are shooting now. Finally, the attacking crossbows are shooting, but again, it looks like they're having trouble to actually, you know, use these guys properly. They're having to push them back. So maybe it's just pathfinding being a little bit ratty. But as soon as these pikes go down, you're going to need to just commit your cavalry and just look to run up here and kill these. But there's just so many, you know, crossbows still left remaining. And vice versa. Is whatever side buckles his first and can move their cavalry into position, I think will be the real winners. I assume the attackers are having problems here as well with their crossbows actually shooting. Normally what you can just do to fix this is just stick them on fire at will. And oh no, they're routing! They're mass routing! What the hell happened here? Were they trying to bring back the crossbows? The cavalry should just go have a field day now. The cavalry should just run in and finish this battle. It looks like the attackers have cleaned up here, and I think it's mainly down to the unfortunate mismanagement of these crossbows. And what do I have to be scared about? Just charge, surely. There's just missiles here and a couple swords, but nothing you should worry about. It should just be a charge outright of all the cavalry. I guess there are some pikemen still left remaining here. But I feel like the cavalry could just rout it. Maybe they just need to... yeah, I mean, I guess it does make sense. You don't want to overcommit here when the battle is this close. You don't want to just overcommit them and lose them. But now they're routed, the cavalry should be pouring in. You're seeing them trying to break through the allied units. Yeah, all the cavalry going in right now. It's just missiles left. And I think that's going to be the battle to the attackers. The defenders even. Because I just don't really see them having anything left. I mean, there's still some crossbows here shooting, but... yeah, the cavalry's pouring out now. This is going to be a mass rout. And victory is going to be given to the defenders. I honestly thought from that beginning assault where they really lost like a large portion of men out in this outer wall, that victory was going to sway towards the defenders. But this final defense, and I think the not using these crossbows sooner really came back and bit them in the arse there in that battle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, as I said in the beginning, make sure to drop a like and a comment on the video. We will take a look at the kills though, see if any units really racked up an insane amount of kills. And hopefully you guys didn't mind me cutting out a few parts of that battle. Most of the bits I did cut out were just kind of maneuvering and grindy bits that, you know, I wouldn't have anything to say during it, so it'd just be us watching, you know, a fairly big fight. They're going to get the kills, starting off with the Polish forces. Their general getting 182 kills, and the catapult and obviously other crossbowmen doing just so much work. Denmark themselves, very nice kills on the Castile Guard. They look like they've just racked up a ton. Over 300 kills on a pike unit is always very impressive. And the knights and the artillery doing nice as well. Tonic Order, again, a solid amount of kills on that cavalry and crossbows. You know, for the defenders, that always seems to be a good thing. And then also the Halbruder Heavy Axeman, 184 kills. Very nice. HRE getting a nice amount of kills as well, again on their crossbows and heavy knights. It seems like I'm just saying the same thing, but they really are the pivotal, that's been my word of the day apparently, the key units in this mod. Then finally, Lithuania, again, we've got a nice amount of kills, 284 kills on these infantry. That's pretty impressive. 423 on the knights. And then finally, on the Norwegians, we do have 128. And then the cannon getting 208 kills and the cavalry 360. All very, very impressive. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and fish out.